Do I look sad and pathetic? Can you even see my face? Good morning. Good morning, America. So I talked to my dad this morning, and it's been very fucking difficult to communicate between all the bullshit. One, because my phone actually had to be factory reset before it would allow me to use it. Nobody could fucking hear a word I said, and it was very puzzling because obviously the microphone was working. I was making videos with it, and I would just make videos out of anything. But where I used to didn't have the habit of making videos, I got into the habit of making videos of anything I could and putting them together as a, whatever. I screen recorded I had to call him. They got him at the nursing home and he's closer, which actually I feel like that's a big plus, even though it's like the fucking old folks home, but he's having to get some physical rehab. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I would be willing to do the same damn things if uh they told me what they were. And I've had this in a dream. I've had this dream where I was it's really weird, but this guy in my dream, this friend that we had, I think he finally died, but we don't know. He just stopped coming around. His name was Motorcycle Mike. That's what we called him. He was from Bakersfield, California. He was a nut. He in this dream, he had a he had a pacemaker, which for whatever reason, always gave him orgone stuff. And when I took Reiki to figure out how to do that, they was a whole thing about people with pacemakers. So it was a very interesting idea. Like, how do you heal someone and not fuck up the pacemaker? Shock him out. Shock him out. Oh my God, you're shocking him. I mean, not that thought he could be shocked or nothing like that, but I did at one time have this electrical wand that is used as a beauty product for your face. It's not what I use it for. Well, I would use that too, just because. But you'll put it in a concoction, a bucket. Why is it getting so dark? What's happening to you? If I don't know. It's really weird, camera. You put it into this concoction of orgone, like a mix that you make up in a bucket, and you hit it with that wand, and it was instantaneous. That you would feel something everywhere. It was nice, really cool. The guy that does that's name's Mike Emery. There's video on how to make it and do all that shit. Another pseudoscience shit. But with the orgone stuff, orgone has some badass
Yes,
qualities. It just does. And it brings issues to light.
he does.
It
He does.
just does. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in your psychology, everyone's,
All right, that's very
that
good. Thank you
affects
very
their
much.
health. Obviously, that
I've been trying to get a
sounds a
hold of
lot
him, and my
simpler
phone's been messed up too.
than it is, but it's true. And very strange things that you don't notice,
All right,
or you
thank you very
might,
much.
you know,
Bye bye.
get into a subconscious habit of doing or thinking about. You
Well,
can
Jesus
pull
Christ,
out
man.
issues.
No, I don't want to
You will
rape you.
remember
I'm
things that
straight.
you had trauma
Come on,
trauma
man.
and forgot.
Come on,
And
man.
it's very healing to the
Let's
body
go.
to release those things by simply acknowledging them and then releasing them. And then they don't store in your body, which your body can do arbitrary things and store trauma. It can. And certain times it'll trigger them back up. And if they go on unresolved, it could lead to death.
I hear you.
But honestly, life leads to death
Can you hear me?
as part of the process. No one ever
Oh, thank
escapes
God.
it.
Man,
There's only so much you
I
can
had to I had to
uh,
factory reset my phone just to get it to do that. And
mitigate
the phone
within
app
this
on it
time.
still
And
doesn't
I
work.
don't think the world
The
is anything
screen
but
that
some sort
shows
of
up at the beginning that has all the stuff you
construct our
need,
higher self has
it's
us
not
in to
there. It just blinks and
experience.
disappears. You can't answer
That's
phone
not as
calls or
crazy
nothing.
anymore as it used to sound. Oh, what the hell are you talking about? We're in a simulator? I don't know. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a
Yeah,
simulator, but
yeah,
I
dude.
think it's definitely a construct. and we're in it, and we may have been trapped before. I don't feel like that's going on as much now. A lot of these things. This has been making me very
I believe
uneasy.
you.
This whole
I
thing,
gotta go
because
up
my
there today
job
and
and
help him
everything that
move. I told him that
I
I would, but
do
I wasn't able to get a hold of
is
you yesterday
directed
after I
towards
fixed the phone.
assisting my dad in his life. Now, did I expect
But
there to
I
be a
did fix
job?
it. It wouldn't work.
No,
It
I
wouldn't.
did
You
not.
couldn't hear me
I've
no
heard of
matter
other
what
people
I
doing
did.
this before, and then they
And then
asked me to
I
do it.
just had to. I had to
I was like,
factory
sure, why
reset it
wouldn't
and
I?
take everything off of it.
Why
I don't
wouldn't I
know what
do
was
it?
wrong with it.
After about a year, I was sure that they were going to fire me, and okay, it's over. And the lady said, no, we're going to
All right.
raise your hours up and give you a
I think
raise.
I know where the place is at.
And
It's where you went to the doctor.
we have to do
right?
this stuff to do it another year. And we renewed it every year. And it's been a few years. So I'm like,
Yeah.
me personally, I don't understand it. I
We
don't
used to go
understand
up there.
how,
They had the people out in the morning
it comes
doing
from Social
exercise
Security
stuff.
and
Isn't
it
that the
comes with
place?
disability, that he qualifies for
Yeah.
having paid in when he worked. Will I have anything like that? I seriously fucking doubt it.
Yeah.
No Social Security. I don't expect anything like that.
How long you
If
gonna
I don't
stay
have a
in there?
job, I expect my ass to be on the streets, homeless, and trying to find one, or trying to go to my
Do you like it in there? Do you want to
grandmother's house, which I have to pay half the taxes on, and then be that many years out of the workforce, having been here working.
Do they have to?
I do work.
Do they?
I do a lot of stuff for him, and I would do it anyway. It's not very much money, and they actually
praying for you,
took away my raise.
but
They
nobody knows.
down my rate of pay to 30 cents. But I pay my child support, so at least my ex, wherever she's at, whatever she's doing, is still getting $300 every 2 weeks. You're not going to get it next Friday. She's going to get very little money,
Most people,
just like
I
me.
think we all think the place is at the same.
I can't communicate to him.
Because Hugo and
I've tried to.
came by yesterday.
But as soon as she started getting that money automatically, she didn't have any desire to talk to me anymore. That includes having a communicable relationship with my children. Now, she said that she would be a better steward of this than she did, but she is not.
He can't.
She's not done that.
It's always rocks.
She's like, the kids don't want to talk to you. I was like, that's why they're kids, and you're supposed to be the parent, not their friend.
Around noon after he takes his shit.
So but it behooves her to just beat me up and think ill of me.
All together, I don't know.
When it doesn't behoove me to do that to her. Although I do it, I try not to voice it as much. It's very difficult. It's very difficult on fathers, broken families. It's very difficult on fathers. Fathers need their children just as much as their children need them. That's a fucking fact. It just is. It's the way of life.
I hope you get home.
I was fortunate for my mom to have married Johnny. Johnny's my stepdad. And I love the shit out of Johnny. Johnny's going to have to get a pacemaker put in. I talked to him. Johnny's even cool with my dad. I actually have a really good thing here with the fact that we all are very good friends and care about each other and love one another. We don't have that bullshit going on of... And my mom, despite her efforts... did not destroy that. She destroyed a lot of relationships because she was very possessive and
see if we get a chance to.
And controlling. And I inherited some of those qualities, but I've worked on them.
Bye.
I worked on them. I don't need to be. But when in a relationship, you do have to be honoring your partner, and you do have to be. You can't be so free with your freedom that you're not going to be monogamous in a relationship. That's just not fair. That's not fair to anybody. That's not really that's no one wants a relationship like that unless they're into stuff like that. And people that are into stuff like that, they don't have a very good track record of having their family, because they're not interested in raising kids and doing that stuff. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm not interested in raising kids, because I sure as hell am. But, I mean, when I was with my wife and I got her pregnant, I was really just having sex with her. And I got her pregnant and then dealt with it like that. I wasn't in prayerful communication with divineness. I was not. I was being a human being animal. If I would have known some of the things that I know now, I would have done things differently, but obviously I can't. But I've learned a lot. Anyway, I just wanted to get that spoken and said because I did communicate with him, and then I've got to go and help somebody move, and I do not feel like it today. I've got allergies so fucking bad. But it's sort of a package deal. This guy, this older guy, I help him move each time he's moved. I think it's been 3 times now. He lives right up the street, and the guy where he's staying at, they're gonna put him in the old folks' home where my dad is at. And it was so weird and very scary because it felt like these things were transferable. First, it was his son commit suicide. And it's horrible. I may have met the son once, or, he moved over there to his house. He had a big ass house, big empty ass house that was somewhere off, I think maybe 304 or something, which is kind of south and to the west of where I'm at. And they didn't get along because his wife, I don't know what the fucking deal was, but even not even being in each other's ass, they weren't able to coordinate their efforts. Another son that beat up his ex-wife that died. I had to ask him the breakdown of the sons and stuff like that. This guy's a hard ass. Bear is a hard ass, but he's not. Once you understand him and you can get past the way he talks about shit, he's just an old fucking Marine. He'd been to the war and fucking brought a little bit of the war home. That happens. That happens to all of us in America. All these damn wars. We're really not treating the vets right. 65 vets a day are killing themselves. They went and had a service for him, and he had to go to Fort Sam Houston, which oddly, I've worked there on 2 different occasions. One when I was doing sheet metal work. We worked in a building in there. It was a helicopter school. Horrible job. And then I went back there and worked for some iron worker guy and a buddy of mine. It's been a few years back, but I lived here. It was right when we first moved here. And there's a lot of weird stuff that connects me to that place and all this other stuff. Because when I was listening to him tell the story about them burying them and them have 65 fucking people a day to put in the ground, he was talking about them shooting off the guns, the 21 gun salute. And it's just sad, and I was like, well, what's going on? Why are they not, because of the veterans service, none of those doctors communicate. It's all a big racket where they, and in a way, I'm trying to swim upstream that process, because in trying to communicate and do all that stuff and being mindful of, people that served in positions that they're in where, that just ends their life, you go to war and you fuck yourself up. You see your friends fucking die. A war for what? I mean, what are they going to go? They went to Iraq. Did we get any oil out of that? There was, in my younger mind, there was some sort of belief that there was a reason to go and do this. But if you think we're spreading democracy, won't you look at Ukraine again? Won't you look at Ukraine again? That guy's taking out anybody that's opposition to him. Churches are being fucked with. There's no democracy there. That ain't democracy. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about the Ukrainians. I'm just saying what's going on there is not what they say. It's that, and it doesn't mean anything. Like, I can't really get behind Russia, but actually, I kind of like Putin to a degree. But I mean, do we want to live in a world where we have to have totalitarian type of rule? It seems as if even with the experiment of America, which is fucking great as fuck, it really is. I mean, people came here, with the exception of the treatment of the Native Americans, people came here and they spread across and they filled it up and populated it, and they performed a sort of manifest destiny of their own self, and this country was founded, on a general idea of having freedom and coming together to decide things in a certain sort of way. But I mean, if it's going the way it is now, it does appear to be renewed. The spirit that animates this country and makes it great needs to be renewed for America to be of any use to the future. Sadly, it just looks like that's coming apart. Anyway, I just wanted to say good morning. These are things on my mind. Have a blessed day. Please hit my like button, my share, if maybe this has been meaningful to you. I'm not a veteran, but in a way, I feel like one. Because of this, there's been a very strange connection to people that have served very close, and a lot of them are in the same, they came from the same place in the military, in the Army. All you Tomahawk dudes. It's just real fucking relevant. It just is. It's real fucking relevant. Choctaw.